Welcome to Real Perspectives. I am your host, LeTonya Moore, and listen, Mario Brown and I have an incredible, I guess I'll say cast of characters with us tonight. We are very, very fortunate to have a guest co-host. I'm make sure I pull up everybody. Let me pull up everybody, honey, so you guys can see. All right, so we are very fortunate tonight to have a guest co-host, Miss Arri Price, right? So if you guys were here last week, y'all saw how they just completely rolled all over me. The two Marios decided they were gonna roll all over me, but that's okay. And don't take that out of context, y'all, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? So I had to bring in the heavy hitter. I had to bring in reinforcements. So Arri is here to help me maintain control of the situation. So anyway, we have back with us Mario Cochran. You guys know, Mario, you are the host of
Keeping Things Uncomplicated.
Keeping Things Uncomplicated. So we'll see how successful he is at keeping things uncomplicated tonight. Arri actually is the co-host of that show as well. We have Saafir Malik, you guys know, who joins us all the time and has some really fabulous input. So thank you, Saafir, for joining us. We actually have a new guest all the way from Toronto, Canada. We have Brian Taylor. Brian actually is a safety and international safety and security expert. But tonight, he's going to share his perspective on relationship reality. So Mario Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
Ready? You ready? I think they're ready.
All right, here we go. Tonight is going to be completely off the chain. I'm telling you, because we have some people with very powerful perspectives, and we want to hear them tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about picking up from last week where we talked about dating down. And now we're going to do this round table where we're going to actually discuss some protocols for dating right now. And each one of us want to make sure you guys tonight know that this is from a personal standpoint. So there is absolutely no judgment at all. So we're going to be giving our personal rules, regulations, protocols, and decorums on how we date and what we believe to be solidified in our own dating situations. You may be able to take away some things that can help you tonight, and we want you to come in the comment section and talk to us so we can hear what you think. So let's get right into this. One of the things that came up that we want to talk about because of societal norms changing, they're being so infiltrated with change right now. We want to talk about traditional dating rules versus the 2017 millennial and those new dating rules. So let's start off with a hot topic. Is it right for the man to always pay? And we're talking about dating situations, all right? Not marriage, in dating. Is it right for a man to take on the financial responsibility of dating? Should he pay for the social activities, the gas? Should he be able to pay for the event? Is that expected now? And is that right now? And so we want to hear from our panelists tonight. Let's start with Arri tonight. Arri Price, talk to us about that. Talk to us.
Guys, how y'all doing? So should guys always pay? No. In dating, I do not believe that is a fair dating practice. I think that if two people are involved in a situation, two people are eating, two people are drinking, two people are watching a movie, two people can contribute to the night. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. Listen, that was great. That was absolutely great. That was absolutely great. Let's hear from Saafir.
Well, I agree with Arri because if it's two people and we going out together and all of that, and I just know me from personal experience, because that tend to be a real intimate issue with me, with women. So my mindset is this: up front, before we even talk, date, whatever, that's going to be one of my first questions. Do you believe in paying on some of the dates? And if she say no, the conversation ends there. So, and that just, that's just the way it is. I do not believe that. I think that, if we're both together, I pay sometime, you pay sometime. That's just me, and I'll just leave it right there.
All right, Brian.
Well, it depends, because if you know how some dudes go after some women and say that, you know, I'm the big man, I'm the big shot and whatever. So then, hey, the women gonna say, okay, but then you got it, right? And so it just all depends on how that relationship was formed, or how that dating was formed. But a lot of guys, you know, try to act big old bad and stuff like that. And so the women kind of like say, hey, you got it.
I don't do that.
You know, so but I gotta agree with Arri that if both is in it together, it should be shared fairly. You know, not somebody waiting until, okay, it's your turn, you know, playing tit for tat. It should just be, you know, equally shared.
Mario Cochran.
You know what, Mario, first of all, I'm kind of a little upset that you waited for me to go last. I don't know what's going on right now, what type of negativity this is, but let me go and get this thing right. Let me get this thing right. Check this out.
I knew you were bring it, bro.
I think that, first of all, you know, shout out to my co-host, Arri Price. You know what I'm saying? She believes, and she knows I believe in everyone having equal responsibility. And I kind of like what the other gentleman said in reference to just setting the premise of asking up front, hey, what do you believe in? But I also believe that, you know, you have to set the tone as the man. If hopefully you're the man that asks that woman out for that date, so you should be able to pay. However, to continuously pay for everything, I don't agree with that. Now, if you're trying to set the tone like you want to come in as a sugar daddy, you want to come in as the big shot, hey, I got it, so I don't mind using it, then cool, you do you. However, when it comes down to that lady, i.e. asking you, well, you know, do you think I should pay for X, Y, and Z? And you got to ask her like, okay, well, yeah, you should be doing a little something. Well, we didn't start off like that. So I think you should start off the way it is you want it to kind of go throughout. But we need to hear from LeTonya because she ain't say nothing.
Now, LeTonya, we want to hear from you.
What was the question?
You know, she ain't paying for nothing.
Should the man assume total responsibility? If he asks a female out, should he assume total responsibility for that? If he decides he wants to date her, is all of the financial responsibility on social activities on the man? Is that right? Is that fair?
Well, you're asking multiple questions. Is it right? Is it fair? Is one thing, and then, you know, what I think. Do I think
they should? What you think? Tell us what you think.
I just think that whoever's bright idea it is needs to pick up the tab, right? You know, because here's the thing. If you invite me out, for example, to a very expensive restaurant, you need to know that I can afford my half before you just take me there and expect me to pay.
True.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of in perspective. Real talk, I don't have a problem paying when I want to pay. But I don't want to be forced to pay because it's, quote, my turn. So because I feel this way, I typically just don't invite men out. I just wait for them to invite me. Because like Saafir said, I let them know up front, if you invite me out, then I just don't never invite you out.
I guess we ain't going nowhere.
Mario, see, I'm not worried about that, honey, because if you take me out, you will totally pay for everything.
It's gonna be hot dogs and hamburgers around here. Hot dogs and hamburgers.
Hey, listen, and then I won't be hungry. Let me tell you, I ain't a choicy chick, right? Let's just go there. I ain't a choicy chick. If you paying and it's hot dogs and hamburgers, listen, where the slaw and the relish or the ketchup, I ain't got no problem with that. Fine. If that's what you want to feed me, and then when we get around you boys, I'm gonna be like, well, I just been eating hot dogs and hamburgers since I've been here.
Oh, she's snitching, y'all.
No,
she's snitching.
If they ask me what I've been doing and how you've been treating me, I'm gonna say, well, you know, all I've been doing is eating hot dogs and hamburgers, and I ain't been nowhere.
Well, let me ask this
make me look bad.
Okay, all right, we've heard the perspective. So let's think about it. Mario, you said that if the dude is trying to be the baller, which historically that was a measurement of our manhood and our worth, is our ability to be that person that could take a female out to nice places. That was the measurement in which she was taught to expect. And so there's some men that still believe that he must do that in order to win the.
Where are they? Where do they live?
Listen, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
They're under rocks. They're under rocks.
They're all in Canada.
We're going to get to that.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to be in Toronto in January.
Let me tell you this.
FYI.
What we don't want to do is to assume that those men are not out here. All right? Because they are. Just as much as there are women who are present that say, okay, I'm looking for that kind of guy. And I think that that's what he should do, because we do have a group of women that were raised to believe that you can do bad by yourself. That's what they were taught. So you need a man that can take you somewhere and do nice things for you, because that's the norm. Now,
Mario.
Yes.
Are you ready to really dive into this? Because I see you hitting if the man should pay or not. But everyone doesn't get that treatment. You understand what I'm saying? Everyone doesn't get the fine dining treatment all the time, because first of all, you have to find yourself, what they said, a virtuous woman. You have to find someone that's of that quality to spend that money and understands that you don't have to do that, but because you have respect for that woman and because you respect yourself as well, you don't mind, whining and dining. But this is not because I have to. This is because I want to.
Okay, let's stop right there. That's perfect. That's perfect. Then tell us, Mario Cochran, what is that measurement? How does one decide she's worthy of that? How do you decide if you want to
do a meal? Ask somebody else. Saafir. Ask somebody else.
Because he said, I want to know.
Oh, man.
He done talking about a virtuous. Listen, Saafir. Let me tell you something. Seriously, Saafir.
Oh,
what's the measure? Because you said something very key.
I mean,
off rip, right? Off rip.
Off the rip. Well, I'm coming from a place where I've been used to women trying to take advantage of me financially. So I'm guarded when it comes to that area. So at the same time, I'm very upfront, especially in a dating capacity. I don't have a problem asking a woman out, hey, let's do this. And I pay for it. I don't have a problem with that. The issue becomes when you always expect that. And some women would be upfront with me and tell me that. A young lady I met, she's an attorney. And I was interested in her.
He ain't talking about me, y'all.
I ain't talking about Tony, but
you gotta put that in straight up.
She told me straight up that she believes in a dating capacity that the man should pay all the time. I said, well, what about in marriage? She said, well, if you're married, then we split everything up. I said, oh. I said, but as far as just dating, I said, no. I said, I'm not the guy for you. I mean, you're a nice looking woman. You'll find somebody that'll do that. Because for me, I think that the way that you're dating is set the tone for if you decide to marry. So I'm looking for me, I want partnership. I ain't saying she got to cover everything. I'm not saying that she got to come in and do, because I make more than enough money to handle myself. But at the same time, you're not gonna ride my coattail either. At least trick me, lie to me at least 2 or 3 times to make me feel like that you.
I'll be like, yes, baby, we're gonna split these Wendy Happy Meals.
Right. But let me ask. Okay, hey Brian, let me ask this. Let me ask Brian. Then I'm gonna come back to you, Arri, because I want to hear what you got to say, Brian. What do you feel about that? I mean, because that to me has so much to do with your historical context on how you feel about yourself. And like Saafir said, he has an experience, but that has been the case. In dating, should there be an establishment that I'm not going to make that investment in you? We're going to split this because I don't know where this is headed. What do you think about it?
I totally agree, because there was times when I would go on dates, and I have invested and it was a bomb, right? Yeah. And so it just, I guess it all depends, right? It all depends on that chemistry and that connection that you have with the person, because you have a conversation, right? And then you say, hey, let's finally meet up. So I think it depends on if you're comfortable with the person, just have that straight up conversation to say, hey, we're not going to invest in the beginning because we don't know if we're going to like each other or not. So let's go Dutch. Right. Let's go Dutch. And then let's see where it leads. If I like you, you like me, then for me, I'm the man. So I'm going to initiate to take you out on a second date. That's just me.
Hey,
Arri, what if you like her and she don't like you?
If I like her, Well, then
And you
we
don't know
gotta
what
walk away. Nah, I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
But
what it
it's
is.
not if you don't know it.
Yeah, but
People say,
Well, she should be able to. Well, usually, for me, I usually ask. Like, so after the date is over, I say, look, so what do you think? You want to go out with me again? You know what I'm saying? And she'll say, yeah. So I ask the question at the end.
Next time you go out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that means you got to be sure that she like you and not how you treated her financially. All right, what would
That's
you
true too.
you?
Well, not if we went Dutch.
First of
If
all,
we go Dutch, go ahead. I'm sorry.
First, Saafir, you said that you have a past where women want to take advantage of you for your money.
Mm-hmm.
In the same statement, you also said, well, I mean, I got it. I can do it on my own.
What
are you saying that's attracting these type of women to you? Because
what I'm saying is,
all women aren't gold diggers.
No, I'm not saying all of them are gold diggers. I'm just saying that that's been my experience. But what I am saying, the women that know me, there's a preconceived notion that, okay, you may look good, you may look a certain way or whatever, and they just assume. I'm not saying all women are like that. I'm just saying there have been several women in my life to where they have pretty much, until I corrected them, that you got it, you're going to take care of me, or I this and I that, or whatever. Like I said, I don't have a problem with actually dating a woman or actually, treating her or whatever. But don't just assume because I may do a certain thing or I may make a certain amount of money or whatever that I'm going to always do that when it comes to you.
Fair enough. I don't think the assumption is fair to make, but I do think that people, and men and women, have to be a little bit more careful sometimes, because I think sometimes what happens is unconsciously we present an image that we can or will, and we do. And I'm just being real.
I hear you, but when you say present an image, I mean, people that know me, they know I'm not that flamboyant guy. I'm not. I don't. What's the phrase? I don't lead with my money, if that makes sense.
No, I understand.
But it just, certain women, there have been certain women that feel maybe because of what I do or whatever, they have that notion. Fair enough. Not that I'm out here taking bands and yeah, baby, let's do this or do that,
But Brian, also, I gotta tag you too. I'm not going Dutch on nobody's first date unless I don't like you. If I don't like you, then when the check comes, I'll be like, I got it. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna go ahead and get this meal and this drink. That's me, because I don't want to see you again. I'm not going Dutch on nobody's first date unless I don't want to for a second date.
But see, here's the thing, and that's why we would have that conversation and getting to know each other on the phone before I even meet up with you. So I would know that. I would know that from you already. I want to tag you with. You said. I guess. When you were talking to Malik, what's it?
Saafir.
Saafir, you were saying that how the people that you have attracted to, but women present themselves a certain way too, right?
Exactly.
I mean, women don't have the hair, the eyelashes, I mean, the nails, I mean, so I think, and guys know that. I mean, for me, like I can look at a woman and know what's hers or what's not, right? And so I think that. So, hey, but I think that yeah, if we're both real with each other and stuff like that, because yes, there are guys that go around and present that they got it like that, and they don't. And so now the women come under that impression that, okay, he got it. So, hey, let's go here. And she keep pushing. She keeps stretching it a little further and a little further. And now the guy's all worn out.
Tanya, let's go to the comments because we got to pull them in this because this is getting real good right here. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is actually getting real good. So I'm just gonna breeze through a few of them. Niecy Croft was saying, she says she's old school. And she's like, show me what type of provider you're going to be if you're expecting a serious relationship. Kelly Parker says, whoever does the asking is the one who pays. I'm with Kelly. Niecy says, pick up the tab if you ask me. I'm with Niecy. Let me see. Kim Brooks says, just be real with each other and let expectations be known. We're not young anymore. No time to beat around the bush. Right.
I'm still young.
Let me see. Look, I had to go so far back. Saafir Nisi said, "You are in the wrong circle of women." Yes, probably true. And that's pretty much the major comments. This just people kind of chiming in with that.
I have a next question.
Okay.
Everybody's saying that whoever asks should take the tab. In 2017, are women actually asking men out for dates?
Yes,
Definitely.
Where are they?
I've asked a man out on a date.
I want to know honestly, how many of you guys have had a woman to come up to you and say, "Hey, listen, I'd like to take you to dinner. I'd like to take you out for drinks. I'd like to have coffee." Where are those women? I just want to know. I'm not saying that they don't exist. Hear me clearly. I'm asking you in 2017, no matter how boss B she is, are women really asking men out on dates and picking up the tab? Is that our reality?
Mario.
Yes.
I just this week, I've definitely experienced that.
Okay.
So I would have to say yes. I would definitely have to say yes.
Well, you got to put that caveat out there, Mario Cochran, because you got on social media, you got your shirt off and you said it out. Of course, they're gonna ask you to go out.
First of all, what does that got to do with Mario question?
I posted a picture of myself in a red dress and my inbox was flooded like crazy. Yeah, they want to go out with me. You know why? Because they want to discover what it is that cherry covered chocolate, right? That don't count. He's talking about some real stuff. He ain't talking about people that I don't look at the page, right?
Can I speak?
You got your military. No, you be talking trash. You got your military garb on. You be working out on the page. Of course they gonna ask you out. Quit being the first one. Saafir.
Oh, wow. I can't talk no more. Let me this.
That's your co-host. Stop him.
I don't appreciate this. This.
But Mario, seriously.
When I said that, she like,
oh man.
Okay, all right, Brian. Let's since Tanya to shut Mario Cochran down.
I'm just trying to be respectful.
Brian, and then Saafir, and then I want to hear Arri what you think about that, because and very honestly, because we do have a population of people that are in our generation and even younger that still have been trained that it is the man's job to ask them out, because they are being constantly told, "Don't put yourself out there. Don't put yourself out there." That's the reality. You go to women empowerment series and conferences, whether they in the church or in the secular arena, they're being told, "Listen, let that man be the man. If you wait and let him ask you out, let him pursue you." You see, that's what's being taught in empowerment facilities. That when you go, and because I'm a preacher, I can tell you in women conferences, that is the recurring theme, that you wait until you are asked. Don't put yourself out there. Why? Because you've already experienced rejection. You've already been hurt. And it just don't look good for you to be running behind no man. So you wait. So when we hear that women are now saying to a man, "Hey, listen, I think you're fine. I think you're nice looking. You got it going on. Listen, let me take you to dinner." I personally have not met that person. And
I haven't met that person.
Would even respond to that, because if he's the alpha male, I'm wondering if he would not think, "I'm getting ready to smash. I don't want you because you're really too much. Because you asked me out, I'm going." See, this is what our judge shows are full of: women that have taken that role and have said, "I'll pay for everything." And then, the dude say, "Look, it's a gift. It's a gift." So I'm asking now, let's talk to Brian, then Arri. Brian, have you experienced a female coming up to you saying, "Brian, you are so black, chocolate, and fine, and you know what? I just want to ask you to dinner. Come on, boy."
I've never experienced that. I've never experienced that.
How would you feel if it happened?
What the fuck?
I would be shocked. I probably would be speechless. I probably would give her the ghost look. Like, is this really happening?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't happen. And you're right. You're right. We are taught and we are kind of trained, right, for the women to wait and be pursued. And the thing is, here's the thing: we're not living back in the day.
Right.
We have to adjust during the time. And the thing is, we adjust in every other area. But when it comes to that area, women don't adjust. And that's why women are single today. I tell my female friends, I said, look, if you're waiting for a man to come up and ask you out, you're going to be waiting for a long time. How many single women they are saying that I can't find a man? There's no man. There's plenty of men out there.
Oh, Lord.
There might be some guys that's shy. I tell my female friend, what would it take for you to just not maybe ask them out, but just introduce yourself? Let's start there. Let's have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you gonna make me have to give an altar call now.
I see the can of worms that just got open. Listen, y'all might as well go and let Arri let loose. Go ahead, Arri.
Go ahead, Arri.
Boy, I tell you, Brian, me and you, I'm glad you in Canada, bruh. Let me tell you something. I think that these women do exist. LeTonya, let me ask you first. Have you ever asked a man on a date?
I could say maybe, I say, we should hang out sometime.
That ain't asking no man out, girl.
Oh man, no, I'm sorry. No.
Goodbye.
He like, right?
So look, I'm gonna say this. I feel like with some women, it does come off as a casual thing, just like what LeTonya just said. But I'm gonna say this also. Personally, I have asked men on a date. I actually like asking men on dates, and the reason is because I like to cut through all of the bull crap and the lines and the stuff that comes before they actually ask me on a date. So if I come up to you and I'm like straight up, you are so handsome, and I just want to see if we can spend some time together. They're usually dumbfounded for a second, and then after that, like, yeah, we can go, yeah. So I'm like, for me, I'm not all of the fake stuff that they're going to start with. I cut past all of that. I just went straight to it. But when you talk about what we were taught in church, it's, you wait on God. God is going to provide you a man. You just wait on the Lord. You wait on the Lord. And my thing is, at the end of the day, the Lord made online dating. There was somebody, he gave somebody the wisdom and the intelligence to create other avenues in dating. And it's too many women sitting here with their hands in, but just waiting and waiting and waiting. That's retarded to me. I mean, we live in a day and time where you can go online shopping for men. So what is the problem?
Well, let me say this. Then we're gonna go to comments, because that's very interesting. Because the women in church, let's take church and let's take secular. The church does indeed say that. You don't have nobody that he who founded the wife founded a good thing. I have said this, and very recently I said this to my congregation, is that just because the scripture says that he who founded the wife founded the good thing, it does not mean that a woman should not be looking, because she has to be able to decide if that is a husband. She's got to look. She's got to seek. She's got to do just what Jesus said. She's got to ask, seek, and knock. I believe that. I believe that.
Available to be found. If you're not, you can't be found.
But I think also in the secular unit, though, that there are just as many empowerment speakers who are telling women, stop running behind men. Get your own stuff. Be empowered. Don't run behind them. So I think that resounding message is right there, though, and the language is different, but it is really still taught. That's why you reject it, is what they're told. The reason you're hurt, because you're running behind them. The reason you reject it, because you don't have your self-worth. The reason you ain't got nothing is because you're running. So I think that message is almost ingrained in us. As Brian said, we're trained to do that. And dismantling those thoughts has been more difficult than people admit. So this is why we get into it. You know what? Here we go. We're going to go to the comments. If you go all the way back to when we were giving Valentine's and Valentine's candy as children, we always focused in on the person we wanted to be interested in. And we wanted them to see us as a baller. I remember telling my granddaddy, Big Daddy, can I have some money to buy this girl this necklace? He said, what you doing buying a necklace for her? I love her. He said, I'll tell you what, then if you love her, go cut that grass, go down to the grocery store, take the groceries out to the car. So even from kids, man, we've been trying to impress you all and let you know we into you. So, I think I don't know. But anyway, let's go to comments. We're going to come right back into another question.
Okay. Nikita King says, I heard that it is a turnoff to some men for a woman to ask a man out because the woman seems too aggressive.
Oh, Lord. Brethren?
We're going to hold that. Let's get some of this out here. And Nisi Cross says, I ask guys out on dates and I've taken them on trips because I knew they couldn't afford it, but I wanted to go. We're going to hold that.
Nisi.
We're going to hold that.
What trip?
Baby.
What trip?
Okay, hold on. Ebony Nee says, I normally will not pay on a first date, but definitely will on a second date if there's chemistry. From there, I don't mind contributing equally unless the guy objects. We as women can't demand equality in just the areas we want. We're gonna table that.
Very true.
Let me see. Irma Price says, that's right. God will send you a Boaz man. We gotta talk about that.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Irma. Y'all know Irma.
Don't take no comments from my mama. Don't take no comments from my mama.
Irma Price. Irma, listen. That was your mama. Listen, and your mama got another one. We gonna close out the comments with the second Irma Price statement.
Irma going in.
Irma going all the way in.
Wait a minute. Arri, your mama must be the church mother.
She is. Let me tell you something, Mario. Let me tell you something. Now, my family very much into church, biggest church in this area. We're members of. But let me tell you something though. My mom will tell me this, blue in the face. Wait on your Boaz. Wait on your Boaz.
Yeah.
And that's church. But the thing, I'm not comfortable being approached at church. To me, if a man from the church approaches me, I'm wondering, were you watching my butt during benediction or was it during the sermon? Like, at what point did you lose focus on Jesus and focus on?
It was both.
I don't like it. I'm not gonna tell
when people tell you wait on your Boaz, you tell them go back and read the book of Ruth. Because Ruth didn't wait on Boaz, baby. She went to Naomi, who said, this how you get that man, and she went and did it.
And what happened after Ruth and Boaz got together? I'ma wait. What happened, Pastor Brown? What happened?
They got together and created the lineage of Jesus Christ.
And don't do that. Don't do that. That is not what you know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at. Do not do it. Don't tell me what happened, Mario Brown. Don't do it. No, don't do it. Tell me what happened.
Oh, okay. You ask him. I'm gonna be quiet.
Tell me what happened, Mario Brown.
Well, I'm going to be careful because I see that story very differently.
Ooh,
and let me tell you why.
Don't make me pull up the book of Ruth and start reading.
But this is the thing. I do honestly believe, and I agree with you, that Naomi gave her a skill set on how to get Boaz.
Okay.
And Boaz actually made provision for her to prosper.
Mm-hmm.
All right? He made provision for her to prosper. And he gave her a better life. I'm going to leave it right there.
But listen, you done left out 75% of the story. What she asked you.
And he died. Like, what? Everybody keeps forgetting the rest of the story. Don't do it like that. It's not like they rode off in the sunset for 80 more years together. Stop. I'm just saying, I feel like sometimes we got to stop perpetuating this stereotype of a Boaz man and just start being honest about the man that's going to meet what you need and want, period.
But he left Ruth in a pretty good shape, though.
He really did. He really
That's
did.
what life insurance policy is for, right?
Oh, Lord.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. You got me
Okay, okay.
Mario.
Yes.
Yes. So I had a neighbor that had lived next door to me, right? And she was single. She has 2 kids, and she worked at home. And I said, "Wow, you never gonna find a man." The reason why is because she is what is that? She's celibate. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2.
That's number 1.
Yeah, she's celibate. Number 1. Number 2, she worked from home. So she don't have no time to go out and meet nobody. Number 3, she have kids. So she said that she got to be careful of who she bring around her kids. So she go grocery shopping and maybe go get an oil change and come right back to the house. So she got really upset at me. And I said, look, you ain't gonna fight. She was like, well, God can bring her man to her home. I said, what, the mailman? She was like, yeah, now look, look, Mario, I do believe in God, okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of single women in the church. We know that, right?
Yeah.
And I bet you they're all praying the same thing. And has it happened? It's almost like winning the lottery, man. You know what I'm saying? So I said, look, there's groups out there. Now say celibacy. There might be a group out there you could find that like-minded men, right? That believe in celibacy, right? You got to get yourself out there. You got to go on a dating website and do things. You got to be proactive, but you just sitting waiting for this man, this Prince Charming to come. Most women say, oh, I want to meet them in a grocery store in the meat aisle. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep dreaming, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a friend of mine that told me that she's waiting for her man to come into church and watch her do praise and worship and then say, oh my God, I love how you worship God. You're my wife. I said, okay.
Oh, wow.
Just today, I did read this, that women, a lot of women do not like church men now. They do not. They don't want him praying like that. They do not want him to be reading his Bible. They are turned off by that. So I think that again, in 2017, the societal norms are really, really changing, you know? And I think that we do have to look at the fact that, does a woman look thirsty if she invites a man to dinner? Does she look thirsty? Is she thought to be desperate? And is she mishandled? She does that. I think that's a reality. I think, Arri, you mentioned we must deal with reality. Arri, you talked about that. And I'll ask the panel the question. In 2017, with all of the societal norms that we grew up knowing being challenged now, women's equality, does a woman really look thirsty now to anybody, male or female, when she comes up and say, hey, Mario, I saw your video. I want to take you out to dinner, or I want to take you on a trip. Does, you know, Arri, you said that you did it, but the man freezes because he's not accustomed to that.
Mm-hmm.
What happens, Mario, and then Saafir, what happens when that takes place? Does she look thirsty to you? What's your real deep down thought about her when she says, I got you, I got your back, let me take you out?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. Since society shut you down, I'm pulling you out of timeout.
I appreciate it, man, because I was over here playing spades. I wasn't even worried about what was going on. So, first of all, I really appreciate a woman finding that value, whether it's just a physical value, saying that, you know what, I think this guy's attractive, so I want to kind of expand on our connection, expand on our time together, and say, hey, let's go get something to eat. So I'm impressed. I don't think she's thirsty. I mean, I think that, you know what I'm saying, she is confident in who she is, and she sees something that she likes, so she goes after it. I mean, if it's equal opportunity and we say, hey, we can make CEOs, but I mean, if you take the business principle in reference to going out, networking and building, then why can't we apply that to a actual physical relationship?
Yeah, I agree. That's good. That's good. Saafir, what you think?
I mean, after I get over the initial shock, I mean, just being honest, you know, if I'm really like feeling her or whatever, you know, and I get over the initial shock, I mean, I may entertain that. I wouldn't think that she was, I'm like Mario, I would think that she's kind of confident, you know.
Is she the boss B though?
I wouldn't say that she's a boss B. I would think that, you know, pretty much she would probably be a woman that sees something that maybe she's interested in.
Okay. Well, I think, see, me personally, I believe that a woman that has that momentum and she has that tenacity to come up and say, yo, I like you and I like to take you out. I'm going to almost attribute that to every area in her life, because women are not almost designed. They've been designed not to do that. So if she comes up and inviting a man out, she probably is aggressive in every area of her life. She'll cut her own grass, clean the
Don't make that assumption. Do not make that assumption.
Well, I don't know. Because let me tell you why I say that. Because when you talk about a person who, Tony, you said encompasses all, and this is where we get into the blurred lines now. Because what does the woman say when she starts defining what a man should be if she the boss B? Because the boss B clean her gutters. She go put tires on her car. She washes her car. She doesn't wait on him to do anything. She get up there and change the light bulb in the floodlights outside because she encompasses all. What I'm saying is that again, what we initially said, what is the boss B? Because she may be that person and say, I don't need nobody to cut my grass. And she get out there and not in a riding lawnmower either. She out there and push it and be looking at him like, you sorry, you ain't about it.
I think a boss has to be condescending. I don't think that she has to be in a point where she's looking down on a man for not over offering assistance. I think that I'm not mowing my own grass, period. And I have my own everything. I will pay somebody to do it, but I'm not doing it. There's things I will pay people to do, but I'm not doing myself. But I think at the end of the day, it's a boss B doesn't necessarily mean somebody that's going to be condescending to a man that's not quite, it's not to say we don't need a man. That doesn't make, you still have a function that I can't function on my own. There's needs that I have that I need a man to fulfill. So I think that's asinine to believe that you ride on this castle where I don't need you for nothing. Like that's not, no man would feel like a man dealing with a woman with that attitude. That's how I feel.
All right. Let me tell you about this. There's a preacher, a female preacher, and she was doing a service and she was going through this whole thing of what she wouldn't do for a man. I ain't buying him no Jordans. I ain't paying his child support. I'm not doing that. I'm buying my kids a computer. And she was, the women were just like screaming and hollering, going totally crazy. Like, that's right. That's right. She says, all of what she's not going to do for the man. And so LeTonya and I were talking about that, and we were talking about how that situation or that moment could come off as judgmental. Because as we originally said, this is about your personal rules, regulations, protocols, and decorum, because there's no one size fit all. So is it wrong for a woman to not buy Jordans? Is it wrong for her not to take care of his child support? Is it wrong for her to feel like, yo, I got his back? And then to go into a service like that, and then you're told by the authority figure, you wrong if you do that. You wrong if you got his back like that. You have no business being no ride and die, and that's not your husband. But yet you all are in an exclusive situation. So I'd like to hear from you guys and think about that and to talk about that a little bit, because a lot of women are going into various venues where that's being taught to them. You don't do anything for him, or you are some sort of way flawed if you do that.
Yeah.
All right, Mario?
Yeah.
Mario Cochran, what's up?
I want to hear from the ladies on that one, man. I gotta hear their point of view on that.
I don't mind starting. For me, we've talked about this before. For me, there's a distinct difference between when you're dating someone and when you're married to someone. Mm-hmm. However, some people, guess what? They don't want to be married. They're in an exclusive monogamous relationship with the person that they want to be with forever, but they don't want to go through the traditional marriage for whatever reason. So I think those relationships as well, quite frankly, are just like a marriage. Now, here's my perspective. I don't care if anybody agrees with it, but I was sharing with Mario Brown earlier. Look, if this is my husband, see, let me back up and say this. As a lawyer, I have counseled men that gross $5,000 a month, right? Which means that ain't what you bringing home. And they got a $3,300 a month child support bill, and they ain't in the arrears. They can't live because of child support, right? So let's just take that scenario, right? If my husband was in that situation, you damn well better believe that I'm gonna pay that child support, right? Because my thing is, I'm not gonna say, look, go fight it, get it modified. I'm not gonna do that, because you know why? If you want to do that, if that's what it takes, for your child to live on a certain level, then as your mate, right? That's kind of like my child too, right? So I look at it that way. Now I'm talking about a husband situation, right? If it was my boyfriend, I don't know. I might be like, you might just want to get a second job. I mean, seriously, like this is real talk because
I agree with that.
For me, if I'm married to you, then we're gonna do what we need to do to take care of your kids and mine, right? I believe that 100%. And having been in a situation where I've seen real dudes look with 2 or 3 jobs and still cannot afford to live and pay child support. And they've tried to get it modified just so they can live, not so they can take care of another woman, not so they can do that sort of stuff. They've been in very bad situations, right? And on a personal note, being a single mom that I ain't never get a dime from my son's father, never asked for no money, right? I'm like, when I see somebody that's trying and I'm with you, we're gonna make this work. Now, I ain't saying I'm gonna buy you Jordans. I mean, if that's what you wear, like, I guess so. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem if you, my husband, buying you some Italian leather shoes. Because see, here's the thing. You can point at your mouth all day long, baby. Let me tell you like this. Let me tell you like this. On a real, this is real talk. I think that when you go into a church or a ministry environment as a broken person, then someone tells you that you're wrong for doing what you're doing. That to me is judgment, period, point blank. Because here's the thing, you don't know that situation. You can't make a blanket statement like that and you don't know that situation. Now, if you decide that that's just what you do, then fine. I personally have never been a woman that I don't buy a lot of gifts just anyway. Not because I'm cheap, but I just don't do it, right? But if it's Christmas and you want Jordans, that's the one, okay, how much they cost? I don't know, right? So that's probably all you're going to get. But if it's more than $50, you probably ain't going to get it.
Oh my God. You ain't more than $50.
I ain't more than $50 for some tennis shoes.
Yeah. What are you talking about? More than $50?
For some tennis shoes?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh.
LeTonya, it's Jordans. It's Jordans.
I'm mad she said it costs less than $50. I'm mad.
I mean, what about like Vans or like the Chuck Taylor?
No.
Oh,
no.
Just stop. Just please.
Oh, wow.
Air hug.
Why don't you just wear like some regular, like what about like Walmart or somewhere like that?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Put a whole body in it. Just get a whole body and put a whole body in it. Like some Dr. Scholl's or something.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, wow.
That the first thing you do to tell if a man is about something is look at his shoes. That dude walk around here shoes. Ain't no way in the world you gonna show up at the lounge with you.
Well, yeah, because you know what, baby, we don't allow tennis shoes. So when you come up in here, you're gonna need some hard bottoms on.
I'm going to the lounge with some Jordans.
Hard bottoms. You want to be $49.99 show shoes. Come on.
Listen, as long as your soles ain't coming from the bottom of your shoes, where they go home, you good.
I'm coming to the lounge.
Come on to the lounge
with some Jordans.
I mean, all jokes aside, for me, it really comes down to, I believe, like Sybil Richardson said, there's a total difference between husbands and boyfriends. Yeah. I really do believe that. If it's my husband, then we're gonna do what we need to do in that situation. I'm just talking about the child support situation. That's what we're gonna do, whatever we need to do in that situation to make sure that, you know, that his children are taken care
of. I agree, LeTonya. By the way, LeTonya, my original name was LeTonya, by the way. My mama, that was my name. But anyway, look, so
girl, you changed it. That's why Irma listen.
I didn't change it. I didn't change it. My daddy changed it right after I was born. He changed his name after him. But my original name was LeTonya. But so let me tell you this. So I agree completely. There is definitely it's a degree of separation between dating, between a relationship, between a marriage. So I feel like the amount of what is distributed between male and female during the time of dating and relationship and marriage shifts throughout the whole evolution of that relationship. In the very beginning, I think that in the process of dating, when you're getting to the point that you're exclusively dating someone or your feelings are a little bit deeper, I think you naturally start to care about things outside of surface level. So just like LeTonya said about the kids and all that, for me, if I'm dating someone exclusively and we met the kids and all that, if the kid's birthday is coming, I'm gonna buy the kid a gift. Like it's not gonna be just like, okay, well, handle your business. Like I'm already kind of stepping into that role to kind of just to have a relationship with not just him, but with his kids. That's the first thing. When it comes to the child support and all that kind of stuff, I think it's not just child support. I think there's a lot of financial burdens that pop up in relationships that could be unexpected. I believe in complete transparency. So I know a lot of people are not very transparent, but if you can be, you'd be surprised to the level of understanding that you'll get from a person if they just know what you're dealing with. You know, a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's what you're going through. Okay, I know for me, if I'm with somebody, I'm with you. That means that if you're going through this, we going through this. Let's figure out what we can do to get over this, and vice versa. Because if something happens on my end, I want my man to have my back that same way. Like, I got you. So when it comes to, like LeTonya saying, you're dealing with men that actually want to work, want to do something, but they have to take care of their kids. That's not a forever thing. Those kids are going to age out eventually. So eventually that money is going to circle back into the household. So it's just a matter of being able to know what the end goal is for you and your partner and how you work towards that goal. And I think that's what makes all the difference.
Let me ask this question, and anybody can take this. Tony, you said some people don't want to be married.
True.
So if you're in a relationship where you guys are not really talking marriage, and or as you said, you get involved, you're kind of like stepping in that role because he has other children and those other responsibilities. Mm-hmm. What is the line, and who decides that line of demarcation in a dating situation to say, okay, neither one of us want to be married, but we're dating? Who decides the lines of demarcation, or how are those lines defined, or what do you all believe they should be? If a couple decides we're not finna get married right now, we're not gonna get married. I don't know when we're gonna get married, or if we'll get married, but we'll live together. How does that merging look in 2017? Anybody?
I think if you're living together, y'all in the same household, then that puts a whole different dynamic on it. You know, especially if you're living together. You know, I think everything, you know, that to me, there's no, if she's in a situation, we both in a situation, especially we living together.
Exactly.
And we made that level of commitment to each other. That's just the way that I feel. Now, if we dating, she's still in her separate spot and I'm in my separate spot, you know, the rules gonna be drawn. But living together, if her tires out on her car, baby, we finna go get some tires. You know, it is what it is.
Okay,
you know?
stop. Okay, hold on. Before anybody says anything, let's just pose it. So living together changes the dynamic. Not married, but living together changes the dynamic. Now, mind you, at any given point, people can still walk. People can still go their separate ways. There's still no definite commitment for real. We just living under the same roof. So what you all are saying is that even if we're not married, living together somehow gives us a different definition, and the rules now must come together under we're living together. So what is that?
Well, but I think part of it, you got to remember, when you're in a house with somebody, like now there's a level of financial codependence, one way or the other, even if one person is paying all the bills, right? So now their burdens are your burdens, right? Think about it. If you live separately, right, and you got some hell-raising folks, let them tear up your house. Right? We ain't living together. If they tear up your house, fine, then you got to figure it out. But if now we're living together and you got some hell-raising folks, now they can't come over here because they got to tear up your house, right? I'm just using that like as an example, but it does go deeper than that, right? If you junkie at home, right, or you sit around all day and you don't want to take no bath and you do that at your house, you ain't doing that if we're living together.
Yeah.
How do you change that?
You gonna get up and
How are you going to determine that? Because once again, y'all just living together. Y'all ain't married.
You just living together. What you mean? How you gonna determine that?
That ain't your husband. I'm saying this. I'm just saying this now. Hold on.
Lord Jesus, listen, I'm so glad I said Jesus' name. I was really about to say something loud right now.
I'm not even saying this from a religious standpoint. I'm talking about the fact knowing that you can walk when you get ready because we ain't even got no paper together. So my thing is that you can't govern a person who now you trying to act like you my wife, you my husband, just because we live together. Roommates live together.
Right, and if I'm your roommate, you ain't gonna be musty.
Well, guess what? You can't determine if your roommate gonna take a bath. You can go in there and tell your, if they say your bill.
We're probably sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah. As roommates, though, listen.
Wash your feet, wash your butt,
wash your back. Get your back washed.
Oh, wow.
Huge shift.
Brian, what you say?
Brush your teeth.
Yes.
Brian, let me ask
yes, sir.
What do you think about that? And then Mario, if a person comes into your house and you say we're gonna live together, and you're living as husband and wife, then is there now in 2017 a new rule that says if we live together, we are governed by the rules that most people operate under in marriage? See, that's what I'm trying to talk about mindsets now in 2017. Hold on. Because remember now, we got to think about historical context. Is that now people think differently about living together and not getting married. In fact, a Pew survey says that most people are opting not to get married now. They will take living together, having kids together, and they have these rules. But at the end of the day, each individual realizes that they can walk away at any given time. You're still talking about tying your money up together. You're still talking about living together, tying your monies together. So what I'm asking,
walk away from a marriage at any time. There's nothing that you can't walk away.
It's a little harder than that. It's a little harder in marriage, though, Arri, because it's a little bit difficult because you got legalities to that.
Slightly, but you got to think about in the state of Texas, once you live together for 6 months, you're considered a common law married. So
right, I get that, but that's not everywhere, though. But that's not everywhere. So you got people all over the country that will come and live together that will say, okay, I can walk at any given time. See, to me, that movement, I'm kind of wondering now, because somebody asked the question about mannerisms. Should we move from friend zone into relationship? And what are the rules and regulations and how do they change? So I would be trying, what I'm really asking now is, how does one go and say, let's talk about how our rules are going to change now? Because that's the conversation that we've been talking about. How do the rules change? How do we engage in that conversation to say that now that we're living together, you're going to act like you my husband and you're going to be governed by a different rule. You're going to act like you my wife and you're going to be governed by another rule. How does that happen? What does that look like? Brian.
Yeah, I think that the same rules apply when you're married, because now you're dealing with, respect, right? So if you're hanging out with the fellas, you got to let me know where you're going, come in the house at a decent time. So I think that it's the same 2017, because I know a lot of people that is not married, but that's living together, and they still show the same respect like they're married, and they still do the same things, whether split the rent, whether split the bills, or I have this, you have that. So I think it's the same. I think the mindset, although they're not married physically, married on paper, but boyfriend and girlfriend, they still try to show that same playing marriage. I don't know what to say, but they still do the same thing.
So they end up on Judge Judy saying that everything that I got was a gift. Everything she gave me, she told me she was going to give me that as a gift. I'm just asking me how it look now, because we got people on comments that are asking, how does this look? Because a lot of people, very honestly, don't know what to do about that, because at the end of the day, they're saying deep down inside, I want to be married, but then it doesn't really work for me. But then how do I govern my rules? I understand the respect issue. We govern ourselves accordingly, but I'm trying to figure out now and answer these questions. Like, what does a person do about the conversation? How does the conversation sound? How does the conversation sound when we decide to live together? We're not going to go through the process.
You make a good point in reference to how does the conversation sound? It's really about initiating that hard conversation. If you know that you're getting ready to take that next step in regards to us joining forces, us joining households, sit down, outline the things that are important to you, because now you basically intensify the relationship. You intensify our time around each other. Now I got to deal with your sleeping habits, your eating habits on a daily basis. Like she was saying in reference to washing your butt. I didn't know you didn't wash up before you get into bed. Get your funky feet self out of here. So, I mean, you have to sit down and ask the hard questions. And that's where that intimate conversation comes in at. It says, have I asked the hard questions? If you're not asking the hard question, there's no way to establish any playing field. There's no way a foundation could be established. Therefore, you guys can actually live in matrimony without matrimony. That's my.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah.
Hey, real talk. So this is how it really happens, right? So the dude and the woman is talking, they're dating or whatever, and then the guy is spending the night, and then he's leaving like a socks and then an underwear, and then all of a sudden now he's moved in, right? And there's no conversation. And so now he ain't paying the electricity bill or nothing. She's cooking and stuff. And then, you know, she's kind of feel, because a lot of women have told me, you know, they really didn't want the guy that they're dating to move in, but they just, now they're here, right? And so they don't have those conversations, that sit down conversation. And now they're there, and now we're here. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, he might not, clean up behind himself, and then now she's feeling stressed because now she's picking up clothes behind him or ironing his clothes and doing all this stuff, and it's strenuous on the relationship, but she feels stuck because he done moved in.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Same thing with, women do the same thing, right? We decide we want to mark our territory, so we start dropping lipstick in your car
all the time.
Leave our panties and kick them under your bed, right? You know what I'm saying? Yes, socks, a bra. That's what women do, right?
That's snitching.
Baby, when I leave here, we going all the way home. Can I just leave some work clothes here so that way when I shower, I go to work?
Nope.
Right? Most men, see y'all know, because y'all probably done got scarred on that road before, y'all, that train wreck. But a lot of times men don't know that. So what happens, next thing you know, she got part of the closet and then she's moved in. So the same thing happens with men. Here's the issue. The expectation is not the same. If a woman move in and she ain't paying no bills or she being slothful, most people be like, well, man, you are the man.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right. Like, I don't think it's right to expect a man to just take care of you, right? But that's because I think a lot of things that I think are a little bit unorthodox for women. But here's the thing. That's why at one point, I'm old. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I live with one person. If they watching, I don't care. I lived with one person, and after that experience, I will never live with another man that I'm not married to. I'm saying never. If he hot enough, I might move in.
But you got it. LeTonya, I can't see myself marrying another man at this point. Now that I've been married, I need to live with you first, because I have seen so many times where even in my mind, I'm like, how did I miss all of this? Because there's a lot of stuff when I know you're coming over, so I know I can run real quick and grab this, move, this. And I think that that's what happens before you live together. Then there's nothing to hide. Like, it is so hard. And I would say this, I had someone stay with me for a period of time, and I was like, I'm so used to just pulling off my wig anytime I want to. And I was like, oh, he's never seen me without my wig. Like, I was like, it was different. But I was like, I think that before I get married, I have to live with you first. I need to know your habits. I don't think I can't take that chance anymore. I can't.
I get it. So let me qualify something. Let me say this. And this is real talk. I think the problem in my personal situation is because that person moved into a house that I was already occupying, right? They moved into my house. Now, think what you want, but as a woman, that will mess with you, right? When you wake up and you want to do something, that dude on the couch sleep. Even if I ain't saying that person lazy or nothing like that, it wasn't that situation, but just to me, maybe if it's a situation where it's his spot, maybe I don't know, because then at the end of the day, I think it's a little bit different. But moving into,
I agree with you.
And then you'll be asleep.
Hey, but guess what? You know what he got? Listen, but the difference is when a man see a woman laid up sleep, you know what he thinking? What can he do to stay home to get into bed with her? What a woman,
what man you talking
what a woman be thinking? What a woman be thinking is you better get your and go to work.
No, let me tell you. Hold on, Tanya. Hold on. I don't know what man you talking about. Because the brothers I know be telling her, yo, when you getting up?
I know that's real.
Because he done. He done with her.
Say, wait, let me tell you something. When you about your paper, ain't nowhere in the world you want to see her laying in that bed while you going out there in that street. You want her to get up, get out of that bed, and get at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she can pay her half of the dinner.
Come on here. You know,
Get them fries and them burgers.
Let me tell you something. Sybil Richardson said that boyfriends get boyfriend things, and you ain't spending but one night at her house, and you can go. Because she said, we ain't living together, we not married. Man, you can't spend more than one night with me. Listen.
That's real talk.
But here's the thing. I guess we're looking at.
I like to cuddle. I like them there more than one night. I don't.
Yeah, but I don't know.
See, Mother Price probably having a fit on this.
Listen,
Yeah,
Mother Price done dropped all these scriptures in here. Y'all better go back and read y'all. but let me in the time that we have left, Brian said something earlier that I wrote down, and we never got back to this, and we're not gonna have time to hit this. But when he was talking about the person who worked from home, one of the things he said was that she was celibate. So she wasn't gonna find a man, right? He named some things that would be reasons for her not to find a man. In a little bit of time we have left, I think that we should really talk about how important is sex in a relationship.
Very. Very.
I mean, so if you had to say top 5, right, Arri, if you had to say top 5, where would sex fall?
2.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm at that point. I'm in my mid 30s, so I think my libido shifted. So I'm there now. I wasn't there.
Oh, this is a good conversation.
I did. I went through. I was celibate for like 2 years with someone, and I did do well with it. But at that time, it wasn't in my head like that. I don't think I could do that right now. I think it would be hard, very hard, very hard.
See, here's the thing, and then I'm gonna let you go, Brian. Here's the thing: people will tell you that they celibate, but real talk, they just ain't with nobody.
Exactly.
You ain't celibate.
Exactly.
Think about it, right? Okay, I ain't with nobody, so I'm celibate. Right? I ain't got no options. And real talk, because what I'm saying is celibacy applies whether you in a relationship or not.
True.
Right? So you can say I'm abstaining, right? But you ain't celibate until you test it. That's all I'm saying. You can say like that lady, she ain't celibate because she's celibate because she ain't met nobody and her kids there all the time. Right?
Yes.
She ain't got no options unless it's the UPS guy on a break.
But that's not true. That you can't make that blanket statement, Tanya.
I can't make that.
No, you can't. Because
celibate people that are claiming to be celibate lay up butt naked in the bed with the object of your affection.
I'm not gonna let you do.
Call me in the morning and tell me how that worked out for you.
I'm not gonna let you do people like that, because there are people out here. That woman, you don't know because you haven't talked to her if she is truly committed to celibacy or not. And maybe she knows that sex is her weakness. Maybe she's that one that if you crash her or you hit her, she loses her mind. So she's made that man, because there are women who literally cannot stand to have sex with nobody because they're marriage material. They want to own that. They want that for themselves. So they have learned, I can't have random sex. So
no, I'm not talking about random sex. I'm not talking about random sex. I'm talking about sex, period. And I think it's wrong to say that a person is not marriage material just because they have sex.
But that's your opinion. A woman can feel that way. That says that a person can say that a man, she knows that she cannot be that person who some people can say, I have a maintenance man. I have a person that I kick it with every now and then, or I just have somebody that gives me oral sex and no penile penetration. But Okay, but this is the thing. That depends on if you're in 2017. Because in some circles, oral sex is not sex. It depends on your circle.
Let me tell you, but I would challenge that circle. You know why? Because people that say that would then let somebody else do oral sex on your man and see how you think it's sex.
But that's a bit extreme. I'm talking about
No,
people.
it's not.
That's true though. That does stand free.
If it ain't sex, let your man do it with his own girl.
That's not what we're talking about.
Or your girl do it with a.
No,
Wait, let me ask this question, right? I'm gonna poll the panel in a few minutes that we have left. Everybody but Mario Brown, for obvious reasons. Everybody but Mario Brown, I'm about to ask this question too. Real talk. Do you guys think that I'm wrong, right, when I say that it's a difference between being celibate and you ain't having sex because you ain't with nobody?
I'm gonna take it. I mean,
come on, Saafir.
If you have committed to that, then no matter what the situation is, the temptation or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then I say, yeah, because I know some people that are. Now, I know some folks, like you say, hey, they celibate only until that big butt show up or that chocolate hump shows up. You know what I'm saying? Because them juices get the flowing or whatever. So you may be celibate by circumstances, not by, you know what I'm saying? You know.
Exactly.
So that's just my take on it.
What do you think, Mario Cochran?
I was waiting for Brian to say something.
I always said, why is it that when the woman gets to me, all of a sudden she wanna see Jesus Christ and now she's celibate? Before me, her legs was wide open, but when it got to me, all of a sudden she's celibate.
I don't know, Brian.
But anyway, I got something for you, Mario. You know why people in the church marriage fail? Because they're so eager to have sex, so they run and get married.
I agree.
Well, the Bible says it's better to burn. It's better to marry than to burn. See, that's where all these contradictions happen, right. and it's hard to operate outside. It's like, oh, you're Christian, but you're single. That is right. Christian and divorce is even worse because you already know what it's like. You already functioned in this role, and now I'm supposed to cut it off? Like what? That's it's mind-blowingly crazy.
It's very, very loaded. It's very loaded, and I think that's another show we got to deal with. Because
well, wait, we didn't let Mario Cochran speak his piece before we go.
I can speak. Can I talk? Is that okay?
Yes, we want to hear from you.
I think that when you use certain words, you try to promote a certain stereotype or a situation. And I think that when you make a blanket statement and say that I'm celibate, I think that you give off a certain aura or a certain thought process. So I think that you should use the words that best fit your situation. If you have to dig for a definition or dig for another meaning that's not common, I think you should use the words that's actually common to your situation. If you say, hey, I'm having sex, but I'm not having sex with a bunch of people, or I'm very selective, versus when you think of I'm celibate, first of all, the general concept or the definition, it just says, okay, well, she's not having sex. But that's not a true statement. I think you should use the words that fit your actual situation.
I want to start with the mind games. Is that Mario's dictionary of definitions? Mario Cochran.
Well, I can't answer the question. See, that's why I don't talk to you.
Hey, you know what's so funny?
We don't even know what you said.
You know what's so funny?
He has a few.
You see what I'm saying? I can't even, you know what?
Let me say this real quick. LeTonya, I agree with you to the extent that I'll say this. For me, I don't have random sex. So I don't have sex unless I'm dealing with one person, period. Like I don't do this dude on Wednesday, this one on Friday. I can't. I cannot do it. So if it's been 9 months and I haven't been with someone in 9 months, then I guess technically I'm celibate because I'm not having sex with anybody but me. So that's it. So it's like that's real. That's real.
You just abstaining. That's the difference.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And like, I think Mario said it best, words matter. You're just abstaining because you made a decision that I'm abstaining because I'm not that random chick. And I think that's excellent to know that about yourself. This guy named Leroy McKenzie says to me, Mario, you can't just be making up your own definition of things in 20
I do what I want to do.
Right.
I do what I want to do.
I don't know which Mario he's talking about, but I'll say this, Mario, you're right. Here's the thing. We're really not making up definitions about anything. We're talking about real life experiences, and we're cutting through the BS. We're really dealing with what we're really dealing with, because we have various scenarios. And like I said before, it depends on your own rules, regulations, protocols, and decorums, and they're all personal. Because you know your limitations, you know your capacity, you know what your belief system is, and you've developed some rules and regulations that may not be agreeable to everybody, but they're working for you and the person you have decided to be with.
One thing real quick, Brian, Felicia L. Smith says, I agree with Brian. You look like you are relationship material. So when they get with you, they don't want to mess it up with casual sex.
That's true. And I was about to say that I'm glad they said that, because you're right. They go and sleep with these other dudes, right? But then when it comes down to the guy that they really want, then all of a sudden their abstinence from sex,
Brian,
because they want
that's crazy. When
Brian,
don't be listen, when you have sex with somebody, you having sex with everybody else. I don't want you in the street. You know what I'm saying? You now you want to bring me to street after you done let it marinate for 8-9 months or a year just to see what things gonna go with. Get out of here with that. You that ain't going nowhere. Well, since it ain't going nowhere, we might as well have sex. That's
But you know what? We're about to wrap this up, y'all. This has been really great. But I think that what we've really come to is that we have all developed a particular belief system in where we are. Because right now, Arri, you say you're in your 30s, you're saying, I know in this particular season of my life, this is what is important to me. This is what is critical. You've been able to say that. And that means that you're clear about that conversation. I think we can surmise that everybody agrees on the panel. We got to have the hard conversations. We've got to move beyond that fairy tale stuff and sit down and be upfront and tell people truly where we are, and not assume that they know or assume that they believe what we believe. We got to have that conversation about belief systems, because that's where the conflict comes in, when our belief systems come together and they don't mesh. So I think this has been absolutely great. Tanya?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our relationship reality. This has been probably one of the realest panels, I think, Mario B, that
I agree.
We've had. It's a great group. Thank you guys so much for being a part. And listen, to our viewers, thank you guys so much for being very active. I want to encourage all of you to share this live feed, share this video with all of your friends that, everybody needs some relationship reality in their lives. Before we actually leave, we're going to give everybody an opportunity to kind of give some last words, some short parting thoughts before we get out of here. Saafir?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just basically up to the two individuals who are in the relationship to set the rules and guidelines for their relationship. That's just the way I feel. And that if that goes against the norms, it is what it is. But those individuals are the ones that have to live and maintain in that relationship.
Awesome. Brian?
I just feel that, and I'm speaking from a Christian point of view, it's hard. Relationships is hard. Dating is hard. And you're kind of like in the middle, you're trying to adjust to 2017. And then also you're trying to do the right thing and follow the word, right? So my thing is this, right from wrong. You know what the Bible say, you know what your gut feelings say, you know what your convictions is. You just gotta, follow your heart, follow the word, and just kind of come in the middle and make the best of it, right? And so the gentleman said before me, is that it's an individual thing. I mean, it's the two people that's in the relationship, they just have to work towards the common goal and just put everything on the table so everybody have a clear understanding.
All right, Arri?
I agree with Brian. I think keeping everything open and putting everything on the table is imperative to trying to make a relationship work in 2017. It is so many moving pieces and variables that are added into the recipe of a relationship. And I think that whoever you decide to deal with, whether it's a companionship, a situationship, a relationship, just be honest with that person on where you stand and where you want to be and go, so that everybody is getting fulfilled to the level of whatever relationship you're in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mario C.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you're having fun in your relationships. Make sure that you're having a hard conversations, but make sure that you're having fun. If you're not right within yourself, then you can't expect other people around you to be right with you. So make sure that you're doing a self-reflection with yourself and also doing a self-promotion in reference to where you want to be in your relationship. Have the hard conversations. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys so much for being here. Viewers, you know that we are here every Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you guys for being such supporters of Real Perspectives. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about the show. Leave your questions, leave your comments. We do go back and check those periodically. So again, thank you guys so much, and we will see you next Tuesday.